Thank you very much. That's what leadership must do. Must always find an alternative. Thank you, the officials of the EFF, members of the media, the people of South Africa, the ground forces of the EFF, volunteers, party agents. The economic freedom fighters welcomes the outcome of the 2024 general election and believe that, to a greater extent, they represent the will of the people. We, however, note the discrepancies, unprofessional conduct, dysfunctional occurrences, and inconsistent results capturing that have been brought to our attention from different parts of South Africa. We take this opportunity to thank all EFF ground forces for a job well done. We particularly thank our Youth and Student Mobilization Committee, which sprang into action as Mulungisi Madonsela Battalion and brought the necessary energy and dynamism into our election campaign and programs. The impact of the youth was felt in the 2024 election, and we commend the battalion for a job well done. The 2024 elections were not easy for the EFF, which was fighting not only against the ruling party, but against many puppets of the white racial capitalist establishment existing as political parties and in different media platforms. The 2024 elections were not easy because whatever effort and resources dedicated in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, parts of Gauteng, and Mpumalanga were undermined by the commendable and decisive rise of Mkhonto weSizwe, which performed above the EFF in KZN and Mpumalanga. We nevertheless congratulate and commend the people of South Africa for voting out the ruling party from an absolute parliamentary majority, which was abused since 1994. Over the past 30 years, the ANC had used its parliamentary majority to protect mediocrity and corruption, and to also preclude any form of alternative perspective and thoughts on how our country should be governed. In the recent past, during the EFF's participation in parliament, the ANC misused its parliamentary majority to do the following: distorted and voted against the EFF motion that sought to amend Section 25 of South Africa's Constitution, which would have made it possible to expropriate without compensation and to make the state the legitimate custodian of all of South Africa's land. Voted against the EFF motion, which sought to repeal all colonial and apartheid legislations that are still part of South Africa's legislative body and system. Voted against the EFF motion to conduct a parliamentary inquiry on the conditions and remuneration of mine workers and farm workers in South Africa. Voted against the EFF motion to introduce free quality education for the poor at institutions of higher learning. Voted against a parliamentary motion to investigate the allegation of corruption in Eskom. Voted against a well-investigated and clear report on the criminal activities that took place in Palapala farm of the sitting president Cyril Ramaphosa. Voted for the illegal suspension and expulsion of EFF members of parliament from parliamentary participation, which prevented the EFF from participating in the 2024 State of the Nation address. This and many other anomalies constitute the core of how the former liberation movement misused its parliamentary majority and dismally failed to bring about thoroughgoing economic emancipation to the people of South Africa. In the past 30 years, the EFF dismally failed to use the ANC dismally failed to use the parliamentary majority to bring about legislative changes that will have improved the living conditions of our people. We therefore appropriate that For the first time since 1994, the parliamentary majority of the ANC has been broken, and that from now henceforth, Parliament will take decisions based on logic and sense and not on entitlement of being the sole dominant ruling party. Parliament will now be better positioned as a true representative of our people and not a platform to protect the political elite of the ruling class. Now that the parliamentary majority of the ANC has been broken and there is no single political party that can constitute government on its own, we as the EFF will be engaging with different political parties on how we elect leadership of parliament and constitute a government that will lead South Africa for the next 5 years. We will engage with all political parties with an appreciation that a government should be constituted within the next 14 days, meaning that some of the issues might be resolved after the base agreements have been reached. As previously mandated by the Central Command Team, CCT, after the 2021 local government elections, the EFF negotiations principles are as follows. Appreciation of the EFF 7 non-negotiable cardinal pillars for economic freedom in our lifetime, service delivery commitments with timelines particularly on land, jobs, water, electricity, flushing toilets, and care for the people with disability. Anti-racism, meaning that whatever coalition is an outcome of EFF participation, must not reinforce white supremacy and Afrikanerdom. Anti-imperialism, meaning that whoever we partner with must not be a puppet or representation of the West imperialist agenda and interests in South Africa. Commitment to Africa, common prosperity and development. Publication of all the concrete agreements reached with coalition partners to avoid a perception that they are secret agreements. Constant and honest engagements and reports to the people on the progress made on coalitions. Additionally, our negotiation principle and demands will include the following: amendment of the Constitution to realize land expropriation without compensation in 6 months, creation of state-owned bank, nationalization of the South African Reserve Bank, cancellation of the historical student debt in 12 months, creation of a state pharmaceutical company in 12 months, passing of insourcing bill in 12 months, removal of distem from the national anthem, opening of clinics for 24 hours, 7 days a week, provision of free sanitary towels for all who need them, provision of free water and electricity for all SASSA beneficiaries. We will engage with all political parties that accept our principle and demands as legitimate, and will respect political parties that believe that our demands are irrational and must not be entertained. While we have decided to form part of the government of South Africa from 2024 onwards, we are not desperate for positions and will not sacrifice principle on the altar of political convenience. The EFF final list of members of parliament and provincial legislatures will be amended to reflect the work done during elections. Those who did not play any role in the election work of the EFF will not go to parliament or provincial legislature, even if their names appear higher on the list submitted before the elections. The EFF officials who are mandated to be the final list committee will meet during the course of the week to conclude on the final list of those who are going to represent the EFF in national parliament and in different provincial legislatures. We advise all EFF members and leaders to comply with the decision of upper structures. Finally, we once again say thank you to our voters, supporters, and those who pledged financial and non-financial support to our movement. We also convey our gratitude to those who kept us in their prayers so that we all are protected during the election program. Thank you, South Africa. Re a leboha. Siyabonga. Thank you.